Yay Media Group.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Szabo, aIMee Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams.
I'm Anna.
aIMee. And I'm Lacey G. I already almost messed it up.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So if you are watching our show, we look a little bit different. We had some technical issues, so we are all going to be on your screen at the exact same time. So we have to remember not to
Make silly faces.
Roll our eyes when someone else talks or something like that. We really got to make sure that we are
attentive and active.
Yes.
Why are you pointing that out? Does that happen? And
I'm sure it probably does.
Y'all are rolling your eyes at me and I'm not paying attention?
No.
There are 4 people on this podcast.
We're just saying we got to be hyper
yeah.
aware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But before we get started in our song breakdown, Anna's got a little box in front of her.
Yes, we got a package mail. What's that from like Blue's Clues?
Yeah. Here's the mail. It never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to mail.
Wow, I'm impressed. So if you guys remember a few episodes ago, we talked about in the song I'm Gonna Get You Back, we talked about Taylor Swift's lilac short skirts. And we were talking about how this the lilac short skirt that Taylor wore was from a company called Blogilates. And they have a sister company called PopFlex. It's the same owner, the same company. They're just kind of like, I guess one is more active wear than the other. Mm-hmm. So we got a nice package from PopFlex.
Whoa.
Yay! Open it up. It's packaged very, very nicely. I guess let me show the camera. There's a lot of beautiful tissue paper, and that's how you know.
I love that we
really
have
pretty.
listeners that work at fun companies.
I know. So here it is. Okay, a little bit about PopFlex. It says, "Oh my God, are you so excited? I hope the things in this package bring you an extra dose of happiness today, whether it's your workout, your work day, or a chill night in. When I started PopFlex back in 2016, my goal was to create the best fitting clothes for women that would not only be cute, but could also solve problems through innovative design. From anti-camel toe leggings to secret pockets on dresses, bringing more comfort and joy into your life brings me joy. I feel so lucky that every day I get to design for you because it was my literal childhood dream to become a fashion designer, something I was not allowed to pursue and something I had to fight very hard for. Every day I wake up excited to create, and I want to personally thank you for helping me live out my dream. Anyway, let me know when you get this." And it had a little picture of the founder, Casey.
Cool.
Love it.
Casey Ho is her name. And then there's a note, a handwritten note.
Hey.
Casey Ho, and she has respect for the toe. I love it. That's great.
So, Nick, this is women's clothing.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh my gosh, hold on. This is like a really nicely packaged envelope, and I'm tearing it up.
It happens.
This is like this is a thick
Yeah.
card. It says, "Hey, Anna, aIMee, and Lacey." Sorry, Nick.
It's okay.
Thank you so much for the shout out a few weeks ago. We've been listening to your podcast, and it's so fun. Hope you love these outfits styled just for you.
Ooh.
From
Wait, I
Kristen
was
and
on that
PopFlex.
episode, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes, but
Do you want to wear women's clothing?
No. You guys open that
So
up.
let's see.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay. So I don't know if they're like, if we're all the same size or if they're like.
I think so. I think we
What
all
I'm seeing
asked
is
for the same
just
size.
there are several bags in
There's
there full of
just
different
so
goodies.
so many goodies in here.
That's awesome.
Let's see if I can find the lilac short skirt in here. Oh my God, this is like really.
There's like 10 different bags.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff.
This is a crop top.
Oh my
It's
God,
a white crop top.
Oh my God, this is a.
Ooh, so I'm picturing the one that Taylor was actually wearing, like with the skirt.
Yeah.
Oh my God, a sweatshirt.
Yes.
This
Nice.
is nice. This
Mhm.
is comfortable. Oh my God. Oh wow. Yeah, this is all really, really incredible. I guess we don't have to open every single thing. They really showered us with goodies.
I can't wait to try them on.
Throw something at aIMee so she's not left out.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Feel this. Feel these leggings.
Well, is it anti-toe?
I think so.
They feel
Hey,
like they
Nick,
feel like
that's
butter.
important.
It is.
Oh yeah, those feel nice.
Don't they feel so nice?
Yeah.
And cute.
I think this is the one that we were looking for.
The skirt,
Yeah.
tennis skirt.
Oh, that's cute, Lacey.
Oh my God. The material is just so
Yeah,
soft.
it feels great.
Oh, just kidding. It's a lilac sports bra.
Well, it's lilac. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is incredible material. Thank you so much,
Yes,
PopFlex.
thank
We
you.
will we will open all of this. This is really like we were absolutely showered with a box full of items. So
Styled for us? That is just so cool.
I know
Thank
the three of
you.
us were gonna have to like fight over some of these items.
Thank you so much, PopFlex, for taking care of us. That was really, really sweet.
So let's move on to a song breakdown. And I got to say, track number 24 on the Tortured Poets department will go down, in my mind, as one of my favorite memories of this podcast that we have had to date, listening to it for the first time. We're talking about Thank You, aIMee. It was written by Taylor Swift and Aaron Dessner.
Yeah.
And we have to go back to our state of mind when we first heard Thank You, aIMee. We had been staying up, listening to the first half of this entire album.
Yeah.
Then once, 2 a.m. hit, we're wrapping things up, ready to go. Someone in our live stream said
There was an
something about
announcement.
an announcement. Go to our Instagram, and we read it. There's a whole second album. Oh my gosh, wonderful. This is great. So we've been listening to several songs on the second album. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We had been drinking. There was just a lot going on at the time. And then we see Thank You, aIMee. This is wonderful. aIMee gets a Taylor Swift song.
We're like,
This is wonderful.
Amy, it says your name. Like this is like a full on name drop. Like this is nuts.
Because we didn't look at the track list. So even though the
Right.
second album came out, we're reading the lyrics and then coming up to the next song.
Uh-huh.
And so we see that Thank You, aIMee's approaching.
And-
So we're like, wow, aIMee got a shout out.
And really, when I first read this, because Thank You, aIMee, it's all lowercase, but then there's a few letters that are capitalized in the title. K, I, and M are all capitalized. And at first, it didn't really register with me what we're
Why?
getting into.
Yeah.
But it did later. But this is wonderful. aIMee gets a song, and then we start listening to it, and
I mean, from the second phrase, I feel like this bronze spray tan, it was like, I don't know, something's happening here. There's a very descriptive, like we're painting a picture.
Yeah.
Oh, but right before we played the song, aIMee was like, ooh, I hope it's a good one.
Oh yeah, that famous last words. Famous last words. And it's also great because I'm sorry if you already said this. How we have the lyrics pulled up on the screen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and do you? I mean, when we do our listening parties, do you try to not read ahead or
Yeah, I
read
try to stay
ahead?
with the music.
Yeah.
Because I wanna be in the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
But sometimes, and in our video, like you can like, it's one of the best reaction videos that we have ever had, obviously. And I remember and then after the album came out, and people were posting their reactions to But Daddy, I Love Him, the part where she's like, I'm having his baby. No, I'm not. And since we were on our live stream, we were like, oh, let's go back and watch our reactions. None of us caught on to that.
Right.
We were so tired.
The four of us were just kind of like listening. Like, I don't think we caught the I'm having his baby, no, I'm not. So we didn't get a good reaction from that, but nothing will beat our Thank You, aIMee reaction.
yeah, I was
We were
crying.
all
I was
in-
crying.
all
I-
in tears.
Crying.
My whole body hurt from convulsing, crying over how hilarious this was. And we'll get to why it was so funny here in a few minutes. Thank you, aIMee. Now, aIMee, how did you feel after hearing this song?
I mean, Lacey gave me props for being a good sport and
Yeah.
laughing about it. It is difficult for me to listen to this song now today. It's something that I do skip from time to time because it's hard to get stabbed to the heart.
Right. It's different when it's like your name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you feel like, Taylor, like, do you feel like it's personal? And Aaron.
I know it's not about me. I know
But-
that. Or aIMee. Like we know
Yeah.
that it's
Is this the Taylor Swift equivalent of Karen? Like, there are a lot of sweet, nice Karens in
Right.
the world. Not everyone is a bad Karen.
no.
But is this the
Yeah.
Swiftie equivalent of
It
being a
is.
Karen?
It is. Yeah.
It is funny though to me because the way that it is spelled, the aIMee, like that's not the traditional way to spell it. So I wonder if there were other names that she had in mind that had the IM or like, you know what I mean? I wonder what the other names were or what the other variations of the spelling
Yeah.
were, or if it just really rolled off the tongue.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Britney Spears song, If You Seek aIMee.
Oh,
How
yeah.
did she spell it?
I think
No, that's AMY.
AMY.
Yeah, because I was wondering if possibly it would be like a homage or
Which
something.
I didn't catch on to that for years, by the way. Have you heard that?
Nope.
So there's a Britney Spears song called If You Seek aIMee, and it played on the radio, but if you really listen to it, it's F-U-C-K, me. You know?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it was kind of like hidden in a way, and like I don't know the backstory to that. But it took me years to realize.
Yeah, today for me.
Yeah.
Today years old.
Yeah. Congratulations.
So life moves pretty fast. It's crazy. It's hectic. And sometimes you need the right way to relax, recharge, or just stay focused without overcomplicating things. And that's where Via comes in. And if you haven't tried them yet, you are missing out. Trusted by over 500,000 happy customers, Via is changing the game in natural wellness, blending powerful, high-quality hemp-derived ingredients to deliver real, effective-driven benefits. Whether you're looking to sleep better, like me, have better libido, improve focus, recover, or simply relax, Via has a tailored solution just for you.
And it's cool because they have products that range from 0 to high cannabinoid levels. So you get to kind of choose your own adventure. What is it that you're looking for? You can custom create something to what you need. Maybe you want some gummies so you can relax and go to sleep. Maybe you want to pick something that's going to help add pleasure in the bedroom. Via has got you covered. Just check out all the different options that they have.
Yeah, like from their award-winning effect-forward gummies to calming drops, every Via product is thoughtfully crafted, made with organic lab-tested hemp sourced from trusted independent American-owned farms. And the best part is that Via legally ships across the U.S. Discreet, direct to your door, no medical card required, and backed by a worry-free guarantee. And if you're not sure where to start, you can take Via's Product Finders quiz to get personalized recommendations tailored to your needs. And it just takes about a minute to complete.
So if you're 21 and up, treat yourself to 15% off and get a free gift with your first order by using our exclusive code TSFPOD at viahemp.com. That's VIIAHEMP.com. Plus, enjoy free shipping on orders over $100. That's VIIAHEMP.com. Promo code TSFPOD.
And if you're new to Via, get a free gift of your choice. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Enhance your everyday with Via.
All right, let's get into just these incredible lyrics.
Do we want to, before we dive in, I do have a SparkNotes timeline of the Taylor Swift, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, I guess, like I said, timeline.
Yeah.
Just in case anyone is new to the podcast or they weren't, really fully around, because like we said, this spells out Kim, and there's a whole other conversation that we'll get into about, like, is it about Kim, blah, blah, blah.
And there's an alternate version that came out like mid-August where it was the capital Y and the capital E, which is the Kanye new name. So,
yes.
I mean, those are our clues.
Yeah. And so...
Can we just mention real quick? I'm so sorry. Anna got a DM from somebody that was like, why is there Yay Networks at the beginning of y'all's podcast? That sounds like Yay, like Kanye.
Right.
And we've been with the company for so long, we never
even
thought about
realized
it.
It's spelled YEA, but it said Yay, like Yay Networks. That's the company that our podcast is under. Like, yeah. But it is funny to anyone that does not know that is not aware. To the naked ear, we did get a DM from someone that was like, are y'all part of like a Kanye West like network or something? And we were like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, and
just to be clear.
Like Lacey
That's
said,
funny.
so
I forgot about that.
we all met working for a radio show called the Kid Craddock Morning Show. Its parent company is called Yay Networks, and it's been that name for
years.
15 years. I have never thought about any connection of being
neither.
Yay.
Me neither.
Except for that it's misspelled. That's the only thing that I
Most
thought
people say
about it.
Yeah Networks.
Yeah.
But it's Yay Networks. Long story. But here we are. It never crossed any of our minds.
It was funny to hear.
About Yay Networks.
I know. I was like, oh no. Do we do a notes app apology?
Which now it's Yay Media Group.
Yay
Yes,
Media. Yes,
Media Group.
you are
True.
correct. You are correct. But Anyway, for anybody that is either new to the podcast, new to the world of Taylor Swift, or maybe just young, you know, that you like weren't really around when everything started with the Kanye, Kim, Taylor Swift feud, because this dates back to September of 2009. And I'm going to do my best to just kind of, you know, keep, when we get into like heavy Reputation stuff, we'll save that for like Reputation. But in order to understand why the song Thank You, aIMee is written the way that it is and why it has like a full circle moment at the end, I feel like. So a little Spark Notes timeline. So in September of 2009 at the VMAs, Taylor was accepting the award. She won the award for Best Female Video for You Belong With Me. And I'm sure everybody has seen it, but that was when Kanye West famously rushed the stage and said, I'm going to let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. Taylor later on said that when Kanye rushed the stage and started doing that, everybody in the crowd started booing at Kanye, but she thought they were booing at her. Right. And at this point, Taylor was about 20 years old. Kanye was 32 years old. Later that night, Beyonce, she won a different award, and she actually asked Taylor to come up on stage and finish her acceptance speech. And then a few days later, Taylor actually told ABC Radio that Kanye did call her to apologize. Oh. But then September of 2010, a year later at the VMAs, Taylor performed Innocent, the song from the Speak Now album, where she basically forgives Kanye. You know, she says, 32, you're still growing up now. Who you are is not, you know, what
you do is not who you
are. Yeah. Basically forgiving him. And I feel like that's an important detail that a lot of people tend to forget when they talk about the Taylor Kanye feud. They're like, oh my gosh, she always just wants to play the victim. It's like, no, she wrote a full song forgiving him, performed it. People just choose to ignore that. June of 2013, there was an interview with the New York Times where Kanye took back his apology. And he said that he just gave in to peer pressure to apologize to Taylor, and that he like takes it back. August of 2015, in an interview with Vanity Fair, Taylor had said, I feel like I wasn't ready to be friends with him until I felt like he had some sort of respect for me, and he wasn't ready to be friends with me until he had some sort of respect for me. She said, we haven't planned any collaboration, but hey, I like him as a person, which is a good first step and a nice place for us to be. August of 2015 at the VMAs, that's when Taylor presented Kanye with the Video Vanguard Award. Remember?
Yeah, that was a big moment. They buried the hatchet. They moved on.
And
publicly.
She was funny about it. She kind of quoted him in her...
Yeah, she said, I've been a fan of his for as long as I can remember because Kanye defines what it means to be a creative force in music, fashion, and life. So I guess all I have to say is to all the other winners tonight, I'm really happy for you, and I'm going to let you finish, but Kanye West had one of the greatest careers of all time, and she presented the award to him.
And, you know, let's try to remember the time that it was and not remember what Ye has turned into.
Correct.
What she says is correct. Kanye is a very talented, good artist. He really is.
And his earlier music is regarded as some of the best music in pop and in hip hop.
And during the Video Vanguard Award, when Kanye's up on the stage, when he's performing, there's so many pictures that I always see whenever there's an article about Taylor and Kanye and Kim. There's tons of pictures and videos of her being super chummy with Kim. They're standing by each other. They are hugging each other. They're very friendly. Truly had buried the hatchet.
Truly. But then, like a little bit later on, I think he had made some sort of remark or something where he knew that would bring in ratings by having her give the award to him, which also she said that hurt. You know, like I was basically just being used as a public pawn. Fast forward to February of 2016, and this is when Kanye released Famous, his song Famous, which includes the lyric, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex, why I made that bitch famous. And when the backlash started rolling in, Kanye claimed that he had permission from Taylor to name drop her. So now we're in June of 2016, and Kim even did an interview with GQ where she said, Taylor totally knew that the song was coming out. She wanted to all of a sudden act like she didn't. I swear my husband gets so much shit for things when he really does proper protocol and it doesn't get approved. That's when Taylor's reps immediately responded saying, Taylor does not hold anything against Kim. She was just, you know, like having her husband's back. However, that does not change the fact that much of what Kim is saying is incorrect. Kanye and Taylor only spoke once on the phone when she was on vacation with her family in January of 2016, and they have not spoken since. Taylor has never denied that the conversation took place. It was on that phone call that Kanye also asked her to release the song on her Twitter account, which she declined to do. And then Kanye released the music video, which featured Taylor naked in bed with Kanye and a bunch of other celebrities. And then it was like not just like the music video, but it was like an art installation where people could go and like see it, which is just
creepy.
So creepy.
And also, also remember the time when this was. A few months before this is when Taylor had won Album of the Year for 1989. So Taylor
Yes.
is peak Taylor
Peak.
at the top of her game.
Yeah.
So I do have a clip of Taylor winning her award for 1989, and she seemingly addresses, not seemingly, I mean she does.
And as the first woman to win Album of the Year at the Grammys twice, I want to say to all the young women out there, there are going to be people along the way who will try to undercut your success or take credit for your accomplishments or your fame. But if you just focus on the work and you don't let those people sidetrack you, someday when you get where you're going, you'll look around and you will know that it was you and the people who love you who put you there. And that will be the greatest feeling in the world. Thank you for this moment.
So that was in February.
Mm-hmm.
Ye says that he spoke to her in January
Correct.
about this lyric. So they had already had that conversation, or at least started that conversation.
Yeah, they had already had that conversation, and then the song came out in February, so right after that. And then we get to July of 2016, and this is where we as Swifties were like, well, where were you in 2016?
Right.
July of 2016, there's an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians where Kim is talking about standing up for Kanye, and she says that Taylor was just trying to play the victim. It was in that episode that Kris Jenner famously says, well, why don't you just call Taylor up, and like talk about it? And Kim was like, no, I'm not going to do that. July 17th of 2016, right after that episode aired, that's when Kim posted videos on Snapchat of the phone call between Taylor and Kanye, where Taylor is thankful for the heads up and tells Kanye that, he's right to share his experiences in the way that it occurred to him. And that's the way she's always been, even when she's like, when I write about my relationships and my exes, it's because that's what happened to me. And I remember like way back when, like even Harry Styles said the same thing. Like, we had a shared relationship. I write from my side and she writes from her side. So that's what basically she told Kanye on the phone. She was like, you have every right to write about your experiences. However, Taylor's reps had made it clear that Taylor was never made aware of the actual lyrics that said, I made that bitch famous. So when Kim posted these videos on Snapchat, that's when Taylor Swift is over party and Kim exposed Taylor started trending, and her comments were flooded with snakes on social media.
Mm-hmm. Watch Miss Americana if
Yes.
you never have. Watch
you
Miss
haven't-
Americana and see how it affected her directly.
Yeah.
Excellent point. So then this is when Taylor had posted about it herself, because up until this point it had been like her reps kind of, putting out statements and stuff, but she herself posted about it saying, where's the video of Kanye telling me that he was going to call me that bitch in his song? It doesn't exist because it never happened. You don't get to control someone's emotional response to being called that bitch in front of the entire world. Of course, I wanted to like the song. I wanted to believe Kanye when he told me that I would love the song. I wanted us to have a friendly relationship. He promised to play the song for me. He never did. While I wanted to be supportive of Kanye on the phone call, you cannot approve a song that you haven't heard. Being falsely painted as a liar when I was never given the full story or played any part of the song is character assassination. I would very much like to be excluded from this narrative, one that I never asked to be a part of since 2009. That was the post, and she captioned it, that moment when Kanye secretly records your phone call and Kim posts it on the internet. And then in October of 2016, the song with the original lyrics was leaked, and the original lyric was, I feel like Taylor still owes me sex, why I made that bitch famous, which was also something that he hadn't said in the phone call. Fast forward a year to August 2017, and we get Reputation.
And before that, Taylor kind of just went into hiding.
She went into hiding, famously no one saw me for a year.
Yeah, and again, this was at the height of her career.
Yes.
When generally she would be pumping out an album or something like, or promoting an album. She's not doing that.
Yes.
She's
Because
in
you
hiding.
think cruel words and stuff doesn't hurt. That, oh, you're a celebrity. You can take it. You can handle this. No, she crumbled. She crumbled because people were so mean and so ready to jump on this Taylor Swift is a fake person
Yeah.
narrative. And
Because it was the popular thing to do, so everybody was doing
Everybody
it.
was doing it. They were just, burning the bitches when there aren't witches when there aren't one. And so 2017 we get Reputation, which we'll go deeper into it when we break down the Reputation album, but just for the sake of this episode, Reputation comes out. She doesn't do interviews. There will be no explanation. There will just be Reputation. In September of 2019, in an interview with Rolling Stone, Taylor talked about just like being sick about all of this. when Kanye West got on stage and made a comment about MTV using his like interaction to boost ratings in this article, that's when she talked about it. She said, I realized that he's very two-faced, that he wants to be nice to me behind the scenes, and then he wants to look cool and get up in front of everyone and talk shit.
Yeah.
She said by the time that Famous came out, she was done with the ups and downs. She said, when I heard the song, I was like, I'm done with this. If you want to be on bad terms, let's be on bad terms, but let's be real about it, basically. And then March of 2020, something bigger happened than the pandemic, because it was 4 years after Kim posted that edited phone call when the entire video leaked online. That not only proved that Kim had edited an hour-long video down to like 3 minutes, but that Taylor was telling the truth the entire time, right? So the video leaked online, and so it said, what Kanye had said to Taylor was, the lyric says, to all my Southside who know me best, I feel like Taylor might owe me sex. And then Taylor responded with like, okay, well, that's not mean. And then she said, I thought you were going to call me a stupid bitch or something. I'm glad you didn't do that. And then he said, I'm going to send you the song and send you the exact wording and everything about it, and we can sit and talk through it. And that never happened, essentially. So even after the entire phone call leaked, Kim still defended it, saying that this video showed nothing new, when it did. But I think she didn't want people to watch the entire thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's when Tree Payne even stepped in and said, hey, who did you guys piss off to leak that video?
Right.
You know?
It came from somewhere
In
in
their
inner
camp.
circle.
Someone had it.
That's
and
right.
someone leaked it online. So in present day, to fast forward, Taylor Swift is absolutely thriving, as we have seen. But there's no way to not acknowledge like how this was such a fundamental thing in her life and in her career. So at one point she had even said, oh wait, hold on, I have it. She said, it's not lost on me. This was in her interview with Time. She said, it's not lost on me that the two great catalysts of my success happening were two horrendous things that happened to me. The first was getting canceled within an inch of my life insanity, being everything we just talked about.
Yeah.
The second was having my life's work taken away from me by someone who hates me.
Right. And here's the frustrating thing about, that video came out. Yes, it proves what Taylor was saying was right all along. Unfortunately, this happens in everything. Corrections to a news story are never as popular or get the attention as the initial one.
Right.
So a lot of times, not that anyone reads newspapers anymore, but a lot of times, if a newspaper does make a correction of something that was front page news 2 days ago, the correction goes in the middle, buried. It's somewhere tiny below the fold. It's hidden. You don't see the correction.
Yeah.
And the same thing is going to happen with Taylor, where people, they really don't even know why they don't like her. They don't remember all the circumstances. They just remember that Taylor was playing the victim again and saying, oh, woe is me, and she won't let it go. Yeah. Well, we see this whole time she's been the forgiving one.
Yeah.
And it's
time and time again.
It's this other camp that is consistently going back on this friendship that she thought she had again.
Mm-hmm. And she didn't agree to being called a bitch.
Right.
She didn't consent for them to make a model of her naked body. And even though, no, that's not Taylor Swift, if you have her dimensions, that's probably pretty accurate. You know, that's what the disturbing part is. Like, you can say it's not her, but that's still putting all of her business out there that she didn't ask for, fake or not.
Yeah.
Besides, I'm not going to say it, but yeah. So I read a lot of hate, people saying like, this is petty Taylor, but it's not a good look. And someone just said this really greatly. So I'm going to quote Tortured Poets Department a fortnight after WrestleMania.
What's the screen name?
Tortured Poets Department a fortnight after WrestleMania.
Love that.
And this is from Reddit. They said, I hate this being called pettiness. Kim tried to ruin her life and partially succeeded. I will also never forget that picture of her smirking over Taylor's naked wax figure. Mm-hmm. Having people come look at this after it's done. Everything Kim did was insane, and she never faced real retribution and never apologized. It isn't petty to still be talking about it. I mean, just beyond the surface trauma, it put her in a spot to latch onto Joe because she runs away and gets with Joe Alwyn, whom she already doubted she should be with and Dancing with Her Hands Tied, but very clearly ended up in this rescuer-martyr dynamic. Taylor Swift is an adult who makes her own decisions, but her mental health is clearly impacted by situations like this. Kim is responsible for a change in Taylor and in Taylor's life for no reason. That's the big thing, because Kim chose to be a villain and fuck someone up just cause, and I don't think that that's considered petty to still be pissed at it at that point.
Definitely.
And that's what the person on Reddit said. Like, this was a defining moment in her life. She's not, whenever I first figured out, or people were saying this song was about Kim Kardashian, it kind of made me angry, because I'm like, I don't want her to be highlighted during the Tortured Poets department.
Right.
You know? So, like, why drudge up that stuff? But
I get that.
It's a moment in time that defined her and screwed her over. And if she wants to complain about it, great.
Yeah, well, and when it came out, when the song came out, when the Tortured Poets came out, and yeah, like you were saying, of course, it brought Kim back up into the conversation. And she did an interview where they asked her about it, and they're like, "Are you and Taylor, like, what's going on?" And Kim had said, like, "Oh, we're over it. We're all over it." And people were like, "No, you get, like, you don't get to decide when the person that you bullied to filth is over it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you were the catalyst behind somebody's, like, actual detrimental, like, mental health. Like, you don't get to decide when she's over it. Maybe you're over it,
Right.
but you don't get to decide when she's over it. And so there's that too. And I have always been kind of curious with the entire re-recording process. Of course, we're all hesitantly waiting for a Reputation Taylor's version, and we're so excited and we want the vault tracks. But part of me is kind of, like, scared that it's just going to bring all this back up again in a way that, yeah, we all can see that Taylor is absolutely on top. And at the end of the day, it's because she wants to own her music, and it's about the art and it's about the principle of it. But it is going to drive negative conversations once again.
Yeah.
Well, and at the same time, we can see the current state of Kim and Kanye's relationship. We can see the current state of Kanye West at the moment. And I always forget the line, but what is it about what does Taylor write about how your enemies defeat themselves?
Yeah, that's it.
So just like with the phone call, wait a few years and see what happens.
Yeah.
When would have, should have, could have come out, I don't know if I said that right. I think I did. But she made a statement like, I don't know if it was on the Eras Tour or during an article, but she said that this was, don't be mean to him. I'm okay. And she could do that with Reputation Taylor's version. I don't think it has to be nasty. Of course the public will want to take it there because it's fun.
Right.
The drama of it.
I did see someone on TikTok pointed out earlier that whenever Thank You, aIMee first came out, people were flooding Kim Kardashian's comments with, "Oh, thank you, aIMee. Thank you for this." And someone was like, "Well, you shouldn't bully," but someone else was like, "This is also the Robin Hood of bullying. Like, now the bully is getting bullied." And I don't promote it. I don't think that's a good thing to do ever, because words do hurt.
And it's also like, we don't want to do to someone else what we saw was done to you know what I mean? Like, we don't want to stoop down to that level either.
But also, Thank You, aIMee is about, I'm stronger because of you.
Right. It turns around
so
at
thanks.
the end.
Right. Like, it does go in a full circle where it's like, I can recognize that I would not be who I am today without everything that happened. And it's also just so interesting because, like, I think a few days after the album came out, we were still processing it all. Even though it's capitalized Kim, even though we just did this entire breakdown of the timeline, sometimes I wonder if that's a red herring in itself.
Sure.
You know, sometimes I really wonder,
because she said that all any point where it might seem like it's I took that out. But I think that's a joke.
like, I changed your name in any real defining clues.
I think we're a part of the joke. I mean, it's obvious that it's her.
Well, and whenever she released the live version from the Eras Tour, that's whenever she changed the name, or changed the capital letters to Yay.
Yeah.
I do think, I mean, we could, when we break it down, or if we break it down, I don't know if we get lyric by lyric, we've talked about it so much already. But there is a theory that it could be about Carly Kloss and the Masters the Masters heist, and Carly, aIMee, it's the 2-syllable word that she replaced. And I mean, she was the female friend. That's what aIMee means in French, the female friend that screwed her over. And I mean, I think we know it's, but if we are talking about red herring, then that might be the red herring.
Well, and in so many of Taylor's songs, we've come to learn just through the lyrics that some of her songs are about 7 different things.
Yeah. Like
They're
it
not
could
about
be-
just one thing and there's zero possibility it's about anyone else or
Yeah.
a different situation. Or that she's making up part of it, just to fit.
the rhyme scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I just remember just thinking like maybe it is just an overall broad, about the people that have wronged her that she later on is like, hey, we'll kind of not like, thank you in a way of I am who I am because of all of this. But the female friend aIMee word, that was new to me. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned Carly Kloss because I forgot. Kim posted a story with Carly Kloss, like almost immediately after
Oh,
Thank You,
yeah.
aIMee, within days
I forgot
after
about
that
that.
came out. And I did see someone else wonder about the 3-2-1 red herring. You're not going to know who this is. All the clues don't point to you. But then 3 songs later is Cassandra, who is
Interesting.
right. So could that be a red herring?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Wow, that's really good. I do think we should still kind of go through the lyrics, even if we already touched on some of them.
Absolutely. All right. That might be the longest we ever talked before getting into the lyrics.
Pre-context.
It's not the one that's
It's
the
not?
longest. I don't think so. I mean, we've had like almost 2-hour episodes before.
But I think all of that was very necessary.
It was.
So thank
It's
you,
important.
Anna, for doing that.
Yeah, I think it's good context. I actually recently we got a message. Not to keep talking before we get to the lyrics. We got a message from somebody that was like, "Hey, I just discovered your podcast, and they're starting with our Lover breakdown because Lover's our favorite album." And so it's interesting for me to think that we've had our listeners that have been with us since day one that have gone in order with us. We have some that just, join us at whatever time and then go back and listen. But it was interesting to me to think that someone found our podcast and was like, let me see if they've done my favorite album yet. And then that's where they started.
That's
so
great.
So just to think that we can have it's possible this is the very first episode that someone is listening to, or they just decided they want to start learning about Taylor. So yeah, I think it's all just, like we said, important context to what has now given us Taylor's 11th studio album.
Yeah.
And not
Part
to
of
make
her
this
story.
episode even longer before we get to the lyrics, but I do want to point out, if you're not currently in this era and you have not heard it yet, whenever we came back and recorded our initial rankings of the Tortured Poets department, and we went around the room and said our names, aIMee said her name was Amelia.
I did. That was so good. That was so good.
I couldn't claim it anymore.
Just to stall a little longer, because I've been trying to work in my head about, Anna, you were just talking about how listeners from our podcast from day one. And I thought, oh, day one, Tay one. That's what we say about people who've been fans of Taylor forever. And I was thinking, well, what is the saying for our podcast going to be? Is it day one, play one? Like the play, like you're playing it on your phone?
Okay.
I
Day
know
one, play one?
we have had a few comments before from people that say day one pod one, like podcast one,
Yeah.
or day 113 one. But I like day one play one.
Day one, play
Yeah,
one?
that's cute.
Did you also? Sorry, not to.
Do you want me to say something too to extend it a little
We're
longer?
gonna keep stalling, but I saw someone on social media was talking about, it was like, what era of Swiftie are you? And it was breaking down the years of like Taylor's career, and like basically if you became a fan from 2010 to 2000 and whatever, like all the different names for the Swifties, and like we say like, oh, day one, Tay one, like an OG, like to me that's like since 2006, right? This little timeline had like OG Taylor fan from like 2010, and I was like, wait, what about from 2006 to 2010? And it said geriatric Swiftie. I was like, no,
You're in that category.
no, we are not geriatric Swifties.
We'll have to remember that when we start breaking down debuts for the geriatric Swifties.
I hope I never forget.
Oh my goodness.
This is great. All right. We are going to get into lyrics now.
Love
And I guess we should say, if you're listening to this with kids, maybe come back and listen on your own, because there's just some language.
There's some
There's some
adult
language
language
in this one. All right. When I picture my hometown, there's a bronze spray tanned statue of you. When's the last time everyone got a spray tan?
It's been a
2
couple
days
years
ago, right here.
I was about
Wow.
to say, you look like you're glowing.
Yeah.
I got some actual sun the other day.
Oh, good.
It was really nice out.
Get that vitamin D.
And a plaque underneath it that threatens to push me down the stairs at our school.
So some people think that this is about Scott Swift, that he has his football record or trophy or something was at her school and or at the house where she was homeschooled. And so they think that this song could allude to parts of him.
You know, I have heard some people try and point out that he has an anger problem or something. I just don't buy it. There's like one interaction with a paparazzi where he kind of got halfway stern.
But he was
but
defending
that's
Taylor.
yeah. I don't see anything up with him.
So has Travis. I mean,
For
he
sure.
got super aggressive and pushed his coach, but I mean, that happens in football.
Yeah.
Your emotions get kind of out of control sometimes.
I always thought that this opening lines of the song, well, bronze spray tan makes me think of Kim Kardashian, of course,
Yes.
but the metaphorical sense of somebody that is being praised, but in the fine print, they're still bullying you.
Yeah.
You know
Sure.
what I mean? Like somebody that is being held to a high standard to the point where there's a statue of them, but simultaneously they're going to find a way to bully her every chance they get. That's kind of what I took from it, where it's like maybe, yes, spray tan, like I said, reminds me of Kim, but just in the general sense of, you know, her public enemies, I guess, you know, they have their own fan bases. They have their own characteristics that people admire and lift them up, but subtly they're still mean, if that makes sense.
And it was always the same searing pain. But I dreamed that one day I could say, oh, what's she going to say about you, aIMee? What is she going to say? I'm so excited.
It's not me.
So I dreamed that one day I could say, all the time you were throwing punches, I was building something. That's nice. That's a very uplifting, empowering thing to say. I can't forgive the way you made me I can't forgive the way you made me feel. Screamed, fuck you, aIMee! To the night sky as the blood was gushing.
This is just like so funny that it's your name, aIMee.
And she is screaming that at you.
Yeah. Yeah, the night sky.
Like there is no name drop lyric that could be
Worse.
worse. It's just flat out, fuck you, aIMee.
Oh, she was so mad at this person who was bullying her and torturing her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but simultaneously aware that she was building something and creating something out of the pain that was being
Right.
caused.
But I can't forget the way you made me heal.
Made her tougher, made her stronger.
And it wasn't a fair fight or a clean kill each time that aIMee stomped across my grave.
So Taylor's already dead.
yeah, she's dead.
Reputation.
And she's still stomping on her. She could not get enough of destroying Taylor.
Right, reputation.
And then she wrote headlines in the local paper laughing at each baby step I'd take.
Yeah, I think it's just the imagery of a bully.
Sure.
Yeah.
But and also, if we're talking about a local paper in the entertainment industry, that might be the gossip columns.
Right.
That might be Page Six, TMZ, the tabloids, Daily Mail, whoever they leak sources to on whatever they think about Taylor at the moment. And it was always the same searing pain, but I prayed that one day I could say, all the time you were throwing punches, I was building something, and I couldn't wait to show you it was real. Screamed, fuck you, aIMee, to the night sky as the blood was gushing. But I can't forget the way you made me heal. I'm getting over this. What doesn't kill you make you stronger?
Yeah. I wonder if in that time period where she was writing Reputation, it must have been hard to wait to put it out there. You know what I mean? Like you are in the process of healing and you are creating all of this art. And I wonder if there was just any sense of like, I need them to hear this like right now. But you know, you're waiting for the whole project, the whole everything to come together and things of the sort. But it makes me think of like, you know, when like Kendrick Lamar dropping diss tracks. Like that's, you write that, you record it, you drop it instantly.
Yeah.
Here's what I have to say, you know? And so her saying like, I couldn't wait to show you it was real. Like I couldn't wait to show you that what I'm creating from this is real and it is going to be great.
The patience she had.
And it was also a different time. You know,
Yes,
people didn't
definitely.
really just drop one song at a time. I don't even remember there was a time when Taylor's music wasn't even on streaming services. So to even pump a song out, just push a song out right away, may be more difficult than we think it is now. Unless she would post it on her SoundCloud or Facebook or something.
And I thought about that recently because she actually just broke a new record. Or I think she was like the first female artist to hit like 1 billion streams on Spotify. I believe that's what the record was. And I was thinking about it, and I even posted it from our podcast account, but thinking like that's insane when you think about the fact that she did take her music off streaming from 2014 to 2017.
So yeah, at this time, her music wasn't really even on streaming services where she could just instantly put something on iTunes.
Yeah.
Okay, now we get to a nice other little twist in the song.
I love it.
Everyone knows that my mother is a saintly woman, but she used to say she wished that you were dead. I love that.
That's saying something.
Because when you think of sweet Andrea Swift, I don't picture her sitting back bad-mouthing anybody.
No.
Wishing evil upon them.
Yeah.
I mean, she is a saintly woman. I pushed each boulder up the hill. Your words are still just ringing in my head. And now
So
we get to the
She's
bridge.
continuing to work through it.
Yeah, like an echo, like it keeps on coming in waves from the media, right?
Yeah.
Is that what the ringing in my head?
Could be. She's just always hearing about it. Or she's just always tortured by it. Even if she's not hearing it,
Right.
she's just tortured by it.
Yeah.
To the bridge. I wrote 1,000 songs that you find uncool. I built a legacy that you can't undo. But when I count the scars, there's a moment of truth that there wouldn't be this if there hadn't been you.
Yeah.
And that's where some people think Scott Swift comes into play, where who would be hearing all of her songs, especially 1,000. She doesn't have 1,000. Well, that would be dad or mom and dad or the record company that you're giving everything to. So those are why some people think Scott Swift or Carly Kloss, who did ultimately betray Taylor Swift by telling Scooter Braun that Taylor was going to re-record everything, or Taylor wanted her masters back, not she was going to re-record. Yeah, that's what she said. But that just sticks out there because the 1,000 songs you find uncool. But if you think about it from a parental point of view, it's not because your parents don't think that you're cool, or they don't really, you can do, but they put so much pressure on you to be perfect and to do everything. And it's like, that's a good song, but like, come on, Taylor, you can do better. So that's kind of what I took from that. I don't know that it's about either one of them. I don't know if it's about Kim Kardashian. I don't know, but I'm just sharing theories.
But that is true. A lot of times you go through some pretty terrible things, and in the moment, you're like, man, this sure is awful. I'll never get over this. But then Taylor writes in here, there wouldn't be this if there hadn't been you. I wouldn't have this beautiful life, this beautiful work of art,
And
if it
it's
hadn't been
also
for the pain that I went through.
It's also interesting because I feel like with the more that time passes, I feel like her Reputation album gets more and more praise.
Sure.
The more that people take it in, the more that I guess people are longing so much for Reputation Taylor's version. But I do feel like it's one of those albums that only it's like fine wine. Gets better with time.
Yeah.
And there wouldn't have been this if there hadn't have been you. Is she talking her life, her career, the literal Eras tour? Because then she ends up going through a re-recording process and she's re-recording her old stuff and putting out new music. Like,
I think it's just where she is now.
Yeah, it's just her life at
Which
that point.
includes all of it.
Yeah, all encompassing.
Yeah. Like we said earlier in her interview with Time for the Person of the Year in 2023, she did acknowledge that her success today is because of, everything that she's been through. She said, it's not lost on me that the two great catalysts for this success are those two things. What happened in 2016
And the master heist.
And the master heist. Yeah.
Yeah.
She goes on to sing, and maybe you've reframed it, and in your mind you never beat my spirit black and blue. It's like gaslighting yourself. Like, oh, you've changed it in your head that what you did wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I'm
well,
not the villain.
that seems like a direct from Kim Kardashian always denying. Oh, everything's fine. No, we're not beefing.
Yeah.
We want to move on. Post videos of her and her daughter singing and dancing to Taylor Swift. And it's like, that
It's not an apology for
Right.
one.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
I think it's just like, I think she's aware that Kim probably has her own truth about what happened.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why she's like, maybe you reframed it, you know, to fit what makes you feel better about it, like at night. But because in your mind, you didn't hurt me the way that you did. You got over it. Yeah, we're fine.
And Lacey, what you were just talking about comes up here in the next line or two. And I don't think you've changed much. And so I changed your name and any real defining clues.
Sure.
And one day, your kid comes home singing a song that only the two of us is going to know is about you.
But
Yeah.
the joke is, anyone who listens to this song knows it's about Kim.
Yeah.
Just me and you. No, everybody knows.
Yeah, it's not about you.
Everybody.
It's not, yeah.
But I think it could apply to anything. You know what I mean? To any of her songs across any of her discography. You know, sometimes we all collectively agree, oh my God, this is 100% inspired by this person.
True.
We don't know that.
Mm-mm.
We
We
don't
don't.
know that. And the truth is only Taylor knows that, and maybe the person that inspired it. And I could totally see her having fun with that, you know, purposefully writing a few lyrics that make us think like, oh my God, well, she mentioned, you know, whatever it is that links us back to this story. So it must be about this. But in reality, like,
You're
no,
right.
it's 100. I mean, think about even when we found out like about the back and forth with Maddie Healy. You know, we went back and listened to some of those lyrics and we were like, wait, was that about him the whole time? Like, you know, and so I almost feel like that lyric can just kind of apply to this song, yes, but in general to songwriting and just like masking it. And I'm sure there's some songs that she's got in there that really only the person that inspires it knows it's about them.
And so Taylor, she said, a song that only us two is going to know is about you because all that time you were throwing punches, it was all for nothing.
Didn't work.
In our town, it looks so small from way up here. I'm on top of the mountain now.
We
Yeah.
love a full circle moment.
I'm looking down on you now. Screamed,
Thank
thank
you,
you, Amy.
So much better.
To the night sky, and the stars are stunning. Her whole outlook on life has changed now.
Yeah.
The
It's so
blood's
much
no
more
longer.
positive.
Yeah, the blood's not gushing anymore.
Yes. Because I can't forget the way you made me heal. Everyone knows that my mother is a saintly woman, but she used to say she wished that you were dead. So I pushed each boulder up that hill. Your words were still just ringing in my head, ringing in my head. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Is there a clean version of this song?
There is.
What does she say instead? Or does it just bleep it out?
No, they have a substitute word.
I guess I can pull it up on Spotify. Yeah, for anyone that knows, because we have mentioned it a couple of times, there are clean versions of all of Taylor's songs. And there's an entire clean version of this entire album.
We talked about it once, but I forget.
Let me see.
At least on Genius.com, the lyrics for the clean version are screamed F you, Amy, to the night
Oh,
sky.
so maybe it just bleeps it out. Most of the time, she'll change the actual
Yeah.
word.
She gets clever with it.
But maybe with this one, she was like, no, I need them to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an FU.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy. We really appreciate it. And Amy, thank you for being such a great sport.
It
about
really
this.
is such like a core,
It is.
like, I think that's also really beautiful. Like, I can't listen to this song without thinking of like our podcast and our listening party. Like, it's so good. So great. Nothing will beat that.
no.
Mm-mm.
Nothing will
Nothing
beat
will.
that. There even if the three of us are name dropped in another song, nothing beats just flat out fuck you, Amy.
No, nothing.
It was so funny.
Oh, it's so good. So good. Before we hear from our listeners via voicemail, I want to remind everyone that we are still giving away a Lover Live from Paris vinyl that Lacey was able to snatch up for us. So we're so excited. This giveaway started on Valentine's Day and it wraps up. The last day to enter will be on March 12th because March 13th is when the winner will be announced and contacted by us. The way that you enter is basically just sharing our podcast on social media in any way that you want. You can share a link to our episodes. You can post a video talking about something that we said. You can react to something that we said. You can just post a picture, whatever you want in some way to share our podcast on social media and use the hashtag #LoveThe13podcast. You can post that anywhere. Just make sure you use the hashtag. You can tag us as well, but just absolutely make sure that you use the hashtag. And the winner will be announced on our social medias and contacted by us on March 13th.
Yay! And also, all my Swifties, don't forget to join us over in our Lobster Lounge. We have this little safe space social media where we get on and share theories and talk to like-minded Swifties like yourself. People have been having a good time in the lounge, and you can join us for free, station.page/13. That's station.page/13 to join us over in the Lobster Lounge.
Now let's hear from some of our lovely listeners.
Let's hear from Ashley in South Dakota. I want to know what she has to say.
Hi, my name is Ashley. I'm from South Dakota, and I just was calling because I was just at the Super Bowl. Life bucket list was checked off the list by enjoying the game. However, I was so sad the whole time there knowing that our girl Taylor was getting booed while she was on the Jumbotron. And I was just so sad, and I was in a bunch of Eagle territory, and they were booing, and I was standing and giving love. So I just wanted Taylor to know, because I know she listens to your podcast, because it's awesome, that we love her, and we still think that she should let her sparkle shine, and that there'll be better days ahead. Thanks, guys. Love listening to you. Bye.
Excellent point.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yes.
And, when she was getting booed, yes, some of those boos were because it's Taylor Swift. But they would boo. There were so many Eagles fans at the Super Bowl that they would boo anybody that was associated with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who. If they just showed a Chiefs fan, they were booing. They even booed the president for many reasons. Maybe not. But he also was rooting for the Chiefs. And so that plays into it too. Yeah.
I chose this voicemail specifically for this episode because hater, and I hate that for Taylor Swift to get booed in any kind of capacity. But also, it's a perfect time to say "fuck you" to someone if they're gonna be doing you wrong. And also, I wanted to know if anybody else has ever had a super good experience ruined by somebody else.
Ooh, I'm sure. Yes. Well, I guess along the same lines, when I went to a Super Bowl party last year, when it was Taylor's in her first season, when she was a rookie, in her rookie season, I went to a Super Bowl party, and I was wearing my Chiefs sweatshirt that, of course, I only became a Chiefs fan because of Taylor, 100%, whatever. And there was somebody that walked into the Super Bowl party. It was like a mutual friend. And he walked in with his girlfriend at the time or whatever. He walked in and just immediately yelled, "I hate Taylor. I hate Taylor Swift," whatever. And it's like, just immediately to walk into a room and just like declare that, it was weird. And like, I in that moment was like, well, that's somebody that I will not be talking to. I have no interest in being friends with this person. And to this day, this guy comes around every now and then when like mutual friends hang out, and I just don't bother. I don't bother.
Why would you?
Why would you?
I don't, he doesn't know that I have a one-sided vendetta against him, but there's no need for me to be friends with someone like that.
And when we're talking about at least Taylor Swift in the NFL, this is a few weeks ago whenever this is now being posted, but a new study came out that since Taylor made her first appearance in September of 2023 to now, so not even 2 years, she has brought in over $1 billion worth of marketing to the NFL. So that's people watching the games, people buying merch, people following on social media, liking posts, things like that. You can hate on Taylor all you want, but if her name's attached to it, there's going to be a lot of money, and there's a reason because people like her.
Well,
people like her.
They're also saying that this upcoming season, they're raising the salary cap for the players. Like, they're all going to be paid across the NFL. They're all going to be paid more, and people are saying like, yeah, well, how do you think the NFL got that money?
Right.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is the reason that the players across the board are getting paid more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hate her all you want, but she does nothing but bring greatness. Like,
Yeah.
It's just insane.
I can't think of a time that something's been ruined, at least off the top of my head. I don't know, Lacey, do you have
can't-
one?
Well,
either.
I have one.
Yeah?
And I have not mentioned this at all on the podcast.
Oh, no.
It's coming out now.
We love an
It's
exclusive.
coming out now
Oh my God, was it us?
It's about me.
Was it me?
in New Orleans.
No, what did I do?
nothing. You were absolutely fabulous. In New Orleans, it was me and Anna there with two friends who had never been to the Eras Tour before, had never seen Taylor Swift before. We had these people behind us screaming the lyrics, like shrieking.
Yeah,
not singing, not enjoying. Like, it made you want to rip. And I didn't say anything because I thought, I've been to the Eras Tour. I don't want to mess up their experience. But what I failed to realize was that they were messing up all of our experiences, and I probably should have said something. But I don't want to take away anybody's joy. But I mean, it's like, you don't sing at the top of your lungs. That's fine. Everybody else is.
It was like shrieking.
Could you tell the age?
Younger than us.
Yeah, youngish.
We were both thinking the same. We didn't talk about it until after the show, like when we were like in the car. I had the exact same thought where it's like, I'm not one to ever say something, and I do not want these girls for their experience to be ruined because they had someone complain, so I'm not going to say anything.
They had some geriatric Swifties
They
turning around.
had geriatric Swifties in front of them, okay? And the thing is, like, I can never watch those videos back from that show. The ones that I took, like, zero video is watchable. And usually it's because of my own screaming. But it I guess I could show you later, but it's just like shrieking.
I have seen a big uptick. This is a problem that people have posted about on social media about. I don't know if it's just a post-pandemic thing. People forgot how to behave in public or just how to go to a concert correctly.
I think concert etiquette in general.
Just concert etiquette has just kind of really fallen off, and people are ruining other people's experience, and it's awful. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's selfishness, really.
It is.
That's what it is.
And yes, we get you're passionate.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
But you have to think about other people.
It's just zero respect for other people and just zero self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Just to have that in our ears the whole time. And then Anna was like, that's the last time we saw the Eras Tour. And then that's it. And then the two friends who have never been to a Taylor Swift concert, like, it was super duper annoying. I don't know. Sometimes I think I should have said something. Sometimes I still stand my ground that I'm not going to take that joy away from somebody else. But I hate that joy was taken away for so many other people because nothing was said. Whenever it could have been just a kind thing. Like, hey, please stop screaming. Stop
Yeah, but you never know how that's going to be received.
I know.
Right? So
yeah,
you
never know.
You could be as nice as you can, but you just...
And they post one video that makes you look like the
I know.
the bad person.
Because then they post videos of us, and it's like these geriatric Swifties in front of us for complaining, and then...
Oh, do y'all think I'm tough? Because I shut down at conflict. I avoid. So, no, it would have been anything awkward except for me running away very, very quickly.
Maybe that's why ultimately we didn't say anything.
There are some stories I know where you do not run away from conflict, Lacey.
I don't want clarification, so I'm not going to ask.
Well, those will come up when we start breaking down Reputation, I hope.
All right, we have one more voicemail, and this is from our listener, our lovely lobster, Kathy in Maryland.
Hi, guys. My name is Kathy, and I'm from Maryland. And I just wanted to call and say that I really, really enjoy your podcast. And I wanted to thank you guys for becoming my Swiftie friends, because before I started listening to your podcast, my only Swiftie friend was my 10, almost 11-year-old daughter. I have made her a Swiftie since birth. So she is a huge Swiftie. We actually got tickets for Philly Night 1, which was her first concert, and it was just the best experience of both of our lives, I think. But anyway, I did also want to say that I am really enjoying how you guys are breaking down Tortured Poet. I think I listen to a song and I feel like I know what she's talking about, and then I hear your perspective, and it makes more sense. You guys are clearly way smarter than me. But I also I'm really enjoying it, and I know that, like, you guys always joke about, you know, you're never going to get to Evermore. I think this was all meant to happen this way because you guys are doing such a wonderful job breaking down Tortured Poet that I feel like when you get to Evermore, which I think is also such a deep album, I think we're all going to understand the album so much more. So I'm really excited for it. I love you guys. And Lacey, please do a voicemail.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
She hangs up and she's like, God, I hope that was them.
I hope that
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
True. We have
It's
to.
so true.
We have to really take baby steps before we can really sink our teeth into Evermore.
Evermore.
Breaking down something like Ivy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meaning and weight into that song. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that spin of positivity. And don't you worry, Kathy. That voicemail is coming one day.
When we get to Evermore, we'll have a voicemail.
Promise. When we get to Evermore, we will have a voicemail.
That's the date.
Let that be clear.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to us on right now. And you can also check us out on YouTube.
Hi to our YouTube viewers. I hope you enjoyed this different camera format.
Split screen cameras.
We'll be back to normal soon, but
Soon. It'll be a few episodes.
We have a few episodes like this.
And so please join us next time. We're going to be breaking down I Look in People's Windows.
Yay! Thank you, aIMee.
Thank you, aIMee.
Thanks for listening. The Third Team, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.